Okay, so in this lecture I'll be showing you how you can create a new document and how you can also customize the settings in order to get the correct aspect ratio and the dimensions required for your project. So first up, you're going to go ahead and click on File and then go ahead and click New, and you can see there's also a shortcut which is Control+N, or if you're on Mac you can go ahead and press Command-N. And so go ahead and click on New, and it'll go ahead and open up this window right here where you can go ahead and customize your settings for your document. So the first tab that's being showed is Recent. So under the Recent panel, it'll show you a couple of presets that you had used previously. So you can see I used the default Photoshop size and also created a custom 1920 by 1080p document, and I also used an iPhone 8 screen size. And so if I go ahead and select any one of these, you can see my preset details also change according to the format that I have selected. And then next up is the save. So right now I don't have any saved presets, but if I go ahead and click on recent, and if I want to go ahead and save these settings, I can go ahead and do that, which I will be showing later on in the lecture. And next up is photo. Now these are specific presets designed for photos. So you could do a 3:2 aspect ratio, a 6:4, a 7:5, or you could go ahead and select view all presets, and it'll show you a couple more presets that you can go ahead and choose from. And it also lets you know whether it's landscape or if it's designed for portraits. So go ahead and browse through these, and again, if you go ahead and select any one of these, it will show you all the details for that specific preset. And then next up is the print. So again, same thing, it just shows you the presets that are customized for prints. So this is the standard letter, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. And below that are other presets for different sheet sizes. So this is the A6, A5, and A3. And if you are familiar with printouts, then you should be familiar for a lot of these paper sizes that are being shown. So the C6, B3, the A4, and a legal size page as well. And next up is art and illustrations, and these are the presets for that. And the web module, so a large web page, which is 1920 by 1080, medium, minimum, and this is apparently the most common, which is 1366 by 768. And next up is mobile. So you can go ahead and select from a majority of different phones, so the iPhone X, the iPhone 8, you can go ahead and select the iPhone 5 as well, or you could also go for a 1080p Android screen, or you could go for an iPad. So go ahead and pick and choose and select the phone that you're designing this document for. And last but not least is film and video. So yeah, that really covers all the tabs that you can go ahead and choose from. But if I go ahead and go back to recent and then go ahead and select custom, and then from here I can go ahead and customize the numbers. And as I mentioned earlier, if you want to go ahead and save this preset, so this 1920 by 1080 with a 720 pixels per inch resolution, I can go ahead and select this download icon right here. And what that allows me to do is I can go ahead and name the preset to, let's call it hello, and then go ahead and select save preset. And now you can see under the saved tab, it automatically saves this hello preset. So whenever we select this, it automatically opens up the preset details for this specific document. And then we can go ahead and click create. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and walk you through all these options that we have presented. So first up is the title of the document. You can go ahead and name it anything depending on your project. And then below that is the width and the height. So this is pretty standard. So a standard HD image is 1920 by 1080. And if you do the math, that is a 16:9 aspect ratio. But let's say if you don't want to customize it based off of pixels, but rather you want to go ahead and base it off of inches. And this is really useful if you're printing out this document, so you know exactly the size of the fonts and the images that you will be printing out. So right now, if you convert 1920 by 1080, that converts to 26.667 inches and is a height of 15 inches. And next up, you can also select the orientation. So whether if you want it landscape or if you want it portrait, you can go ahead and select either or. But let me just go ahead and go back to pixels. And then as far as the resolution goes, the higher the resolution, the clearer your images will print out or will be exported. So ideally you want somewhere around 300 pixels per inch. And next up is the color mode. There's really not much you can do here. You can go ahead and just set it at RGB color, which if you know RGB, it's really meant for identifying a color based off of a combination of 3 different numbers that vary from 0 to 255, and those 3 numbers determine the color. And next up is the background content. So if you want to go ahead and select the background color, you can go ahead and select it as white or black, or you could also go ahead and custom select it and then go ahead and select the color that you want set as the background. But the thing about this is you don't necessarily need to worry about it right now, as you can go ahead and also customize it afterwards, even after you created your document. And then as far as advanced options goes, there's really not much that you need to know at the moment when it comes to the color profile and the pixel aspect ratio. So I'm just going to go ahead and click create. And there's our portrait document, which goes from 1920 by 1080 and has a pixel density of 300 pixels per inch. And it also has a white background as we had set in the settings. So yeah, that's really how you create a document on Adobe Photoshop. It's a very simple and easy process. And if you just follow along, there's really not much complications. So yeah, that's it for this lecture, and I'll see you in the next one.